Alright, I hope everyone's ready to find out what terrible things are happening underground.
It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Oh, this is not what I expected.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it!
You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under a phone booth?
Of course I did. Didn't I say that?
No.
I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be in the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Or if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real?
Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic.
That's why I'm such a good predictor.
It looks like each of these has something written on them. Oh, okay. I get to read them. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here?
Not that I know of.
This town's all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes.
Paul always says if you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold.
Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation.
That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late.
Great. Alright, number 2. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works.
What does she do?
Science stuff. Is she involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. She's definitely involved. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't this where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place?
This is starting to feel like something big.
Okay. This suit has a broken mask. Claire, the attitude of the cat is very you. Thanks. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit.
If it walks like an uncreed and talks like an uncreed,
Let's not jump to conclusions.
just saying.
Ah. That's a lot of buttons.
Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi technology.
Rollo's
just says
hands
tag.
hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Rollo, what did you do?
Nothing. I didn't even move yet. Oh, what was that?
Hide.
Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here.
Just get back. Oh no.
Shit.
Shit. Shit.
Awesome! You all need to come with me now.
We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers.
Mr. Underground Secrets? I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever.
They who?
That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins.
We don't care about our skins.
Hold on now, I like my skin. I like my skin.
This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this.
That's a lie.
It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee.
What happened?
Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I.
This is the creep, by the way, who's always hitting on the grandmother. It'd be very interesting if it was, like, revealed he was doing that just to, like... It'd be weird. I think he was just being a creep.
An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So, you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep. Total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it.
And my dad said no.
Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, "Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone."
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
Is there a point to this sob story?
Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose.
Juniper?
Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party.
She's going to disrupt the festival. Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know?
Apparently, she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say that this isn't the only underground layer we've busted into today.
And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy.
I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in the town square.
The fountain? Why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source.
What the heck is the source?
If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all.
Fucking do it. Roast them, kids.
We all need to run. Oh, run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
All right. That did not go how I expected.
So... we're totally following him, right?
Totally.
See you on the other side!
You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8.
Alright, here we go.
The cold, hard truth.
Here we fucking go. We're really in endgame.
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed. only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view.
Oh.
A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Okay. Alright. This is beside the real town. That was intense. Yeah.
I think I might have parted with some fluids in there.
Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold?
Doesn't look like it got on any of us.
It didn't feel like we traveled that far.
So where did it all go?
This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Alright. Time to go to real Beacon Pines. This is where we met, creepy little, mouse? And who told us we were gonna save the world, and also, seemingly knew about the interdimensional stuff. And then also, in another reality, us and our bully came here, and our bully sacrificed himself for us, which was incredibly sad. That was only like an hour ago, if you weren't here for it. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town.
Ah, I get it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien.
Rollo,
Stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures.
oh boy, here we go.
The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through these metallic wormholes back there. The final objective? Kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing.
You never really had me. But you very much lost me there. You get used to it, we should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
That's our fake Gran. She's about to kill everyone. Accidentally. She thinks she's helping.
Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
She poured jelly down there. Explosive jelly. That's why it freezes everything.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you, this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town.
Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing.
How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change.
Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets.
Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Ah, here we go.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions.
Why is Gran who you want to look like in 30 years? She's a badass with a bunch of explosive jelly in her basement. I don't know. It seems pretty good. Besides the fact that she misunderstands what she's doing.
The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to, and this is, if you haven't been here before, this is the whole thing of the game, is we have paths that we can choose. We can write the story, and we don't know where it's gonna lead. And there's been, you know, only so far it's been bad endings. We haven't gotten the good ending. So there's been a lot of times where everyone just dies. And then it's like, oh shit, this can't be how it ends. Let's go back. So let's see. And in the stillness, he began to hum or weep. Oh, what should I do? Does he cry? Which one feels... I feel like this is gonna be dramatic. They're both gonna be dramatic. I feel okay. We're at the peak of things, so we're gonna go drama.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This'll all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
It's not a good idea. You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall.
Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness.
Yep. And we're dead.
She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Yep.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca.
Oh, that's sad. She was trying to save Luca. Oh.
Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Easy. Alright, so this is the whole thing. So we have a bunch of different pathways we can take, and we have different things. The only option we have is the hump, so we're just gonna go back there. Alright, let's go.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody.
Wow, I thought this was gonna be the happy one.
It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
Oh, they do it.
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. Lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother.
Oh, shit.
Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom?
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor. I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right there, right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do we do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big.
I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everybody. We've got a party to crash. Okay, so there's some time shit happening. This is not the first time shit has happened to a character, though.
You don't understand. He always wins.
Oh,
Chapter
Valentine
9.
isn't dead. Right? Okay. So adult Luca comes into play at some point, and it's been a long time, and I don't remember why or how.
The devil you know. 7 months ago,
Here we go.
Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers.
Sorry, I'm just realizing about some stuff that happened in, like, the first session. Alright.
They were experiment reports on something called Tenthus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And this is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret, and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they would fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. That's why there's no bugs. Oh my god. Jeez. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... I'm afraid of a lot of things. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to gather the whole town together in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizers was... words. We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true, and now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... Oh. That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. The ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the oh my god. He's not a kid. That's the old Valentine. Holy shit. There's a lot of shit happening right now. You've been quite the thorn in my side, like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party, but alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your feelers are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir? It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for your rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
I knew it. Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper
His
Valentine.
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
All aging. This is why everyone gets, like, when they get the goo on them.
Hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No. So you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Mr. Kerr, do be a dear and reveal the sign. Ha! Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. Malice. Yay. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Kerr.
Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward! Does anyone else have something to contribute?
Helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. You people should be celebrating my return. You're clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give, the opportunity to prove yourself in my absence. Squandered. To say I am disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus, an adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who's completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? Who needs a legacy when you can just live forever? But what about... It's all right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ha! There he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense! The people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You're about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for all of you. Well, those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I am willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty.
Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of Perennial Harvest?
Ha! You think that puffed up blitherskite could have accomplished all of this? Don, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. It truly has been a role of a lifetime.
Wait. So, this Bill Kerr was a Pat C the whole time?
Now that your secret is out in the open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you?
Oh, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple.
I'm not afraid of you.
The young hero. I've kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your moment of triumph. But that's fate for you.
You can't do this.
Oh, but I can. And I've won. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it.
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end.
Interesting.
This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now. You can feel it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't have anyone just like jumping in the middle of this. I don't know if it's becoming clearer, but yeah, there's a lot of things that just got cleared up.
We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
All right. What the hell can we do? All right. That is the one. Ah, ooh, interesting. Yes, this is the part where he kidnaps us.
There was a malice lurking behind those eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just want this to all be over.
Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough.
I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rolo at the
Luca
treehouse.
twisted free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all.
Yeah, no. Goodbye. Wait, can I go in the library? Okay, now is not the time. Oh! Hey, Jace. Oh, hey, Luca. Did Rolo come by? No. I was actually surprised. He's usually here early on days when a new issue drops. Rolo's the biggest Hank Atomic fan I know, besides myself, that is. Well, if he does swing by, tell him to meet me you know where. I don't know where. No, he knows where. Oh, Roger that, Space Cadet. Thanks, Jace. Ah, ha 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 ha. He looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mama always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. But my problems always seem to grow right along with me. Heavens, I sense big trouble ahead. Thanks. Alright. So who the fuck is this person who's shown up a few times? These festivals I need to like redo the voice now that I know. Though I think I was doing a good voice. These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad, it's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Okay, so they're in cahoots. Good to know, good to know. Identify yourself. Nellie Moodwill. I don't remember the voice I gave her. I work here now. I am unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits.
Whoa. You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junkin', Sonny.
Evening, Jeff. That's how you pronounce that. Isn't it kind of late to be junkin'? I might as well ask the same thing of you. Find anything good? Bah! Ever since Perennial Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. With this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I'd better get going. I don't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. Sure. Alright, off to the treehouse. Oh, do we have any more fishing things? No. Okay.
Luca wrapped them.
Okay, we're just gonna leave. No? Okay, I can't talk to him. Rolo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rolo! Rolo, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace. Once again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse.
This is one of those dreams that's always super normal.
This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket. A keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me." Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. "And you?" The doppelganger choked back tears. "I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone." Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. "I think so."
No?
His father pulled him in for an embrace. "Time to go, Buckaroo." Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in there?
A commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open.
Oh.
Chapter
I
5.
was assuming that it was Rolo. But I guess we'll find out who it is when I come back. I'm going to take a little break.